Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about a plate carrier setup that I'm working on. This is a work in progress plate carrier. It's a Tetsudo 2.0 and I have a variety of different items that are mounted on it. And I'm going to go over why I mounted them on and some possible changes I can make and just an overview. Now for reference, I'm not a combat person. I've never been in combat. I've just spoken with a variety of people who have been and people who have trained with this sort of thing. And they've given me some kind of advice on basically what to set up, maybe perhaps how to do things. And I've taken their suggestions and some ideas and I've tried to combine it with my own. This is what I've come up with. Now this is not set in stone and this may change, probably will change based on environment and needs in the future, but we need a starting point and this is where I'm starting out at. So here on the front, I have a variety of different items. We'll start off with the tourniquet holder here towards the front area. The idea that I have for having a tourniquet holder in the front is that I want to be able to access something very quickly, easily, and I do have another tourniquet holder on the other side of my plate carrier, so in case I have an inoperable side of my body, I can still kind of grab something immediately on the other side and apply the tourniquet. That is the idea behind having two tourniquets on the kit here. But before I get ahead to the other medical kit, let's talk about the single stack holder in the front. This holds my mags, and I don't want a double stack one because I don't want this thing being too beefy. It already is pretty beefy as it is in the front. I want to be able to maneuver, and I also want to be able to kind of save weight and reduce the amount of weight that I'm carrying. Also being able to go prone in different positions and laying on my stomach for crawling. I don't want anything sticking out too far in front of me because then I'll be sticking too far up above the ground, and I don't like that. Moving along, this is an optional item that I might take off the kit, but this is a Brinyte Flashlight. I figure having just a general lighting element on the kit itself would be a good idea in case I have to go into a nighttime operation. I need to be able to see, and this is something I would be able to see with. So there are other optional accessories that I would like to replace this with potentially, or Surefire type of lights mounted in the front, or a Malkoff devices light, which I've been looking into lately. But this is what we have to work with right now. It's a rechargeable flashlight. It runs on a 21700, I believe, battery. So it runs on a very long lasting battery, so it can last a while in night operations, and it just has a simple on and off switch in the back here. So as soon as I grab it, I don't have to fiddle around with any kind of modes or anything. I just turn it on, it shines, and that's it. Next to it, we have a radio pouch. We have the Motorola MT1000. This is a VHF radio, 136 megahertz to about 174 megahertz. So I want to have something running with comms here, and we had gotten these radios a while back and programmed them with an old DOS computer to the frequencies for our specifications. So, and they cost a relatively inexpensive amount in today's day and age. So this is something that is rugged, good for the price, and works fairly well. And it comes with a external mic here that is also pretty rugged and water resistant, and it has clarity and good audio, which is important when you're communicating. Next to it, we have a Vanquest PPM Slim EDC bag. So this is kind of like a admin type bag. I might mount this on the front of the pouch depending on how things mount and fit. But for now I have it on the side, and this houses a bunch of just regular EDC items that I would need, like pens, mini lights, sort of a cordage system, sewing kit, little ouchie boo-boo medical kit, a headlight, things of that nature that I might need to access and that I might not be having on my persons at that moment will be on the kit here, which is kind of nice to have. However, this is a optional accessory and I might end up taking this off. Again, this may not be a necessity for the type of environment I will be in. That being said, it's also mounted to a North American tearaway platform, so I can tear this off, and if I have to jettison this gear, this armor, whatever's on here, I can just take this bag with me and I can run away and use the items inside to survive over the night potentially. It has a bunch of small survival items inside of it as well. Moving over, we have the Ifak system, the M-Roo from North American Rescue. Again, a fantastic small kit. It is a little bit bulky sitting out, and I don't like that, but it does work well or rather decently for what I'm doing with this plate carrier setup. It has a tourniquet inside here, which you can access easily from the front here. And behind it we have a clamshell opening pouch, which you can access with one hand and deploy the bleed stop items and the hyphen chest seals and a extra molle space blanket that I have inside there along with gloves. So this was sort of one of the few things that I purchased in addition to the EDC bag and the kit contents in it. So these are just some items that I've been playing around. I'm going to be moving it around in the kit here to see how I feel and how it works when I get to practicing inside the plate carrier here. But for now, that's what we have here. On the back, I like to keep it just bare bones minimal because I might be mounting a hydration bladder on the back potentially and or a backpack. So I typically might want to mount or be tempted to mount a radio in the back. That can be doable, but for my needs, I might be getting in and out of vehicles. So having all this stuff on here plus stuff on the back might make it a little bit harder not to get caught up in the vehicle or getting in and out troublesome potentially. So I want to keep it simple on the back here. We have the grab handle on the Tetsudo 2.0. On the top, I don't have anything really mounted, and we can see the buckles here. They're really well padded straps for the traps here. They are very comfortable to wear over duration time, I found, even though it does get a little bit uncomfortable after a while. These do make it more bearable for me, especially with all the weight that I have on my gear here. Moving over to the right side here, we have a frag pouch. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this on the kit. I wanted to have something of a container for a potential grenade or fragmentation device, and this kind of fit in the area. It's kind of away from my drawing side, so it doesn't interfere with my drawing on the right side since I'm right-handed. I don't want anything getting in the way, and that's why I don't have too much stuff on this side of the cummerbund. And finally, we're back to the front. Now, I want to talk about some options I might change in and out, specifically with the radio, since I'm a ham radio operator and I'm into radios and communications. I want to go over some options that I might switch out with this. Here we have two types of radios. We have a quad band radio and a dual band radio. The Motorola is a simple monoband radio with a efficient front end for communications on the VHF spectrum. This does VHF and UHF. The Alinco DJ MD5 and this Yaesu VX7R does quad band, meaning it does 6 meters, 1.25 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. It also has a wideband reception as well and is fully analog. So the reason why I want to use the VX7R potentially with this kit is that it has access to 6 meter band range, meaning for those of you who are into ham radio and know about the bands, 6 meters is kind of a magic band. It can kind of go far sometimes, which can be critical for communicating if you have the right antenna and setup. This radio does AM transmission on 6 meters as well at 1 watt out, so AM can go a little bit further sometimes in certain situations, and I would want to access the AM part of this radio sometimes. So in addition to being a flexible transceiver, it is also submersible. So this is a rugged radio. It can fit within the parameters of being outdoors, being banged up, and going into water or getting wet in the rain. And attached to it we have a Yaesu 6 meter rubber duck antenna. I might add a tiger tail here to create a better ground plane for better SWR and more efficient transmissions. Now, since we're being somewhat tactical overtly, we also want to have a covert method of communications. This Alinco DJ MD5 is the GPS APRS version, meaning it can send out digital information. It does DMR, digital mobile radio, and more importantly, it does AES 256-bit encryption. It can potentially transmit encrypted information over the radio waves, which is important for maintaining information and secrecy. So that's why we are running this Alinco with the kit here. Now, it's not as rugged as, say, the VX7R or the MT1000. It does have some resistances to water, but not really rainproof. So I would have to be very careful with using this with the kit with that in mind. However, the privacy, the encryption is key for maintaining a steady operation, in my opinion. So it's definitely worth an option of switching out both radios here for this. And that's all I have to say for my plate carrier setup right now. We do have some 10 by 12 level 3 armor plates inside. I would like to upgrade that to level 4 plates potentially, or something newer tech and lighter weight. I do want to keep this kind of very slim in the front here. So again, I might take out this light and exchange it for a Surefire type of light, or even a Malkoff Devices light, which is a little bit smaller and lower in profile. Then again, I am still playing around with options on here, and this is a work in progress. And I'm not an expert in this field at all. I'm just, again, a regular guy, so take what I say with a grain of salt for a setup here. But this is my starting point, and I thought I'd show it to you guys just to see kind of what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to work with. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I want to thank you for watching. Take care.